Good evening, everyone, and thank you once again for joining us for our bi-weekly live stream for our guided meditation and Dharma talk. And I am just so very pleased that you are here spending some of your time with us, whether you're live or whether you're watching on the replay. That is perfectly fine. The important thing is that you're doing everything that you can to better yourself, to grow, and to understand the Dharma and mindfulness, and to incorporate that into your life, to your daily activities. Believe it or not, when you do little things that we talk about here, and when you practice them, you actually become a role model to others. People see the way you act, and they think, look how calm, look how peaceful, look how tranquil this person is. And it's good. And even though maybe sometimes in our minds we feel a little anxious or maybe some anxiety going on or whatnot, but we always return to the breath and we focus on where we are in our being. So it's good. It's a joyful occasion when you practice mindfulness and you inspire others to be like you, I suppose. Not just like you, but to practice mindfulness. So again, welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. Today is March 7th, 2022, 6:02 p.m. where I am in the central time zone here in Minnesota. Tonight's topic, we'll be talking about opening your heart to change. Very often we can find ourselves resistance to change, right? Stuck in our ways, stubborn, right? And we'll talk more about that as we go along in our Dharma talk. But why don't we start off with our wonderful guided meditation. And our guided meditation tonight, no surprise, right? Opening ourselves to growth, right? Being open. So you are completely invited to just relax, sit down, whatever, lay down, whatever position is comfortable for you is the perfect position to be in. And I will guide you through this meditation. And so let's begin by taking a moment to settle our bodies into those comfortable positions. And as you get to that position, whatever it is, sitting down or lying, it's perfectly fine. You may close your eyes or may choose to keep them slightly open with just a soft focus, looking downward a few feet in front of you, and that's perfectly fine. Breathe in, and breathe in through your nose, and pause, and then slowly exhale, letting it out. You're invited to allow that half smile to rest on your face as well. Remember, this is an enjoyable time as we get to develop ourselves. So, and just like the Buddha, put a smile on your face. Just a half smile is fine. Allow your spine to lift and your shoulders to soften. And soften your belly as you continue settling in. Those last minute adjustments are perfectly fine. Breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale. And let's meditate on opening ourselves up to change. Go ahead and bring the mind Your earliest recollection as a child. Maybe you were 5 or 6 years old. Whatever time or whatever age you can recall is perfectly fine. Maybe you were in school, or perhaps you were at a park, swinging on the playground, or maybe just running and playing with friends, smiling and laughing. Maybe you remember a time when a loved one passed away. That certainly would be a sad time as well. But whatever recollection you bring to mind is up to you. Try to recall the feelings you were experiencing at that time. Don't fight or try to inhibit any of those feelings. Just invite them in with curiosity, just for this brief moment. Breathe in, pause, and slowly exhale. Now let's move forward a little bit. Go ahead and recall a time in your teens that was right before a memorable event. It could be the moment right before your driver's license test, or the moment right before you asked someone to the dance. Any moment is perfectly fine. But right before that actual moment, do you recall the anticipation and the feelings just as that moment began to unfold? Know that it doesn't matter how well you performed in that driver's test or whatever the response was from your potential date. Just invite those feelings in with curiosity, just for this brief moment. Breathe in. Pause. And slowly let it out. Go ahead and breathe out just slowly. Now bring to mind your favorite season. It could be spring, it could be autumn, it could be summer, or perhaps it's winter. As your favorite season approaches, you welcome this change. as you leave the previous one behind. You look forward to the sights, the sounds, the aromas, all of the activities, whatever this season has. You look forward to all of what it has to offer. We welcome this season because we expect good things to happen. But negative events can happen during this time as well. And just as positive events may happen during our least favorite season, we know that the unexpected can happen at any time. Breathe in. Pause. And breathe out. We know that and accept that when we are open to new or different ideas and experiences, we invite them in with curiosity. And as we do, we learn about ourselves. We grow. And with this growth, we are better able to connect with ourselves and with others in the world. We're able to offer compassion and empathy to others who may be in need. We are open to hearing more mindfully to what others are saying, strengthening our being and connection with them as well. We know that openness leads to growth. And we are opening ourselves to this growth. Breathe in. Pause. Slowly exhale. Go ahead and begin to open your eyes slowly and to reorientate yourselves to your surroundings before moving about. Bringing awareness to where you are. And with that, I wish you peace and ease. Go ahead, take it a few moments to readjust, and as we prepare for our Dharma talk this evening. So opening our heart to change can be hard. And when I think about that openness, remember growth, right? We all want to improve ourselves. And I'm thinking of two different words, or I thought of two different words as prepared for tonight. And those two words were stubborn and determined. And so for us, stubborn is the unreasonable obstinance, right? Inflexible, fixed in opinion, not to be moved or persuaded by reason. So that's how we'll talk about and refer to stubbornness or to being stubborn. Whereas determined is firmness of purpose, right? Resoluteness. So not quite the same, right? Stubborn, obstinate, right? Inflexible, right? But determined is firmness of purpose. So you can still be determined, right? You can still be determined in your purpose of whatever task you set out to do, long-term or short-term. But it's the stubbornness that eventually leads to suffering within us for certain, and most often with others as well. So there's a Japanese saying, right? Rocks are hard and water is soft, right? If you were to take a rock, if you were to throw it into a lake or a pond or a river, it would certainly sink unaffected. Right? A rock could be stubborn, moves its way through. But suppose you took that rock and instead put it under either a slow, steady stream of water, whether it's dripping or just a nice, steady stream. What happens to that firmness, to that hardness of that rock? It doesn't maintain its shape. Right? Eventually, you'll get that little divot, right? A little divot in that rock. So that soft water, right, that flexibility allows us to penetrate the hardness, even if it does take time. Right? Even if it does. So, but why are why are we sometimes stubborn, or why are some people stubborn? We've heard of sayings like stubborn as a mule, right? A lot of times that stubbornness comes from the fear of being wrong, right? Wanting to be correct, that need to be right in front of other people's eyes, right? The ego telling us that if I change course, if I make an adjustment, how will they view me? How will you be thought of if you change course? That would be the ego, the stubbornness, right? Inflexible, not to be moved or persuaded by reason. The situation could be immensely stressful, but if you have some available data or available information, stubbornness would keep you that same course. It's not the same as determined, remember, right? Firmness of purpose. Stubbornness, because of our egos at times, make us not open to new experiences or opinions of others. Sometimes when we're stubborn, well, Looks like we're back. Looks like we were off for just a moment there, and I apologize. Thank you for that patience. That was your resoluteness, right? Being open. So sometimes when we are stubborn, maybe we're fearful, right? Again, judgmental, right? If we are in a position, a senior position, maybe you have 10 or 15 years of experience over someone. Maybe you don't want to hear what they have to say because they are 10 or 15 years our junior. Maybe they lack that experience, and your ego has gotten in the way from listening to a new point of view. Whereas when we are open, right? What's openness, right? Lack of restriction or accessibility. Right? That's how we would define openness. Lack of restriction or accessibility. We are accessible to others, to new ideas, to new experiences, to new ways of learning, new ways of sharing, new ways of even exploring ourselves. And openness is non-judgmental. We want to hear what others have to say. They may have a better idea. They may have a more compassionate idea. So it's important to listen. Being open. It's also brave and shows vulnerability. Our world can be fearful. And one thing I've kind of begun to realize is that all the aggression that we see, that's certainly going on right now, it's not a sign of strength, right? It's a sign of fear, that they are fearful. Someone is fearful that someone is perhaps getting something that they're not, that they're left out. So it's fine to be vulnerable. It's not a sign of frailty or weakness. It's the opposite. And it also shows a willingness to learn when we're open. A new ways to do things, new ways to learn. So how can we open up? What are some ways that we can open up, be accessible, right? Be accessible to this openness. And one thing we can do is just reflect on where we are in this very moment. Is it a good spot? Is it healthy? Is it balanced? Is there harmony within ourselves? Are we finding ourselves conflicted? And it's okay to have that confliction within us. And that's where that reflection comes in. And whatever our decisions are when we are conflicted, it's important to understand that whatever our decision is, the kind decision is always the right decision. How else can we open up? We can share. Share what we're thinking with honesty and with compassion towards one another. And that goes towards ourselves too. We have to be honest with ourselves. And that's why that reflection comes in. Why are we feeling a certain way? Why are we feeling fear? Why are we stubborn? And when we listen to others, we listen with that sense of curiosity. Where are they coming from in earnest? What are they truly saying? Ask questions if you have to. And when you ask questions, that's showing that you're an engaged listener. That's openness. When you ask questions, that's openness. And listen to others with compassion. They have something to offer. Whatever the words are, and no matter how they say them, we as the receiver to those words listen with compassion. Even if they are yelling, even if they are angry, we listen with compassion. That is how we understand. And then we listen to others with empathy. We've been there before. We don't have to have that same exact experience, but we've all been in challenging and hurtful situations. So we listen with empathy. And those are just some ways on how we may open ourselves up, opening our heart to change, releasing that stubbornness, embracing and fostering the openness, the curiosity. What is out there from somebody else? Because that does allow us to connect more strongly with ourselves, more compassionately with others. That's what mindfulness is. So our next Dharma talk will be in 2 weeks on March 21st. Same time, 6 o'clock, Central Time Zone. And we'll be talking about finding the honey in those challenging or difficult times. No matter how bad they are, we can always find that honey out there. I'd also like to remind you that we also have an ongoing program for our Resiliency Plus. It's a 6-week program that is semi-autonomous, right? Semi-asynchronous. Is that a right word? Semi-asynchronous. You can schedule it 6 meetings. We can meet whenever you have the availability. And we'll work to develop your resiliency in these really challenging times these days. Also on March 19th, we are hosting our virtual spring retreat all day from 8 to 4 or 8 to 4:30. Come sit with us as we embrace new beginnings, right? Spring, it's the beginning of a new wonderful season. If you listen to the guided meditation, maybe spring is your favorite season. So you can come with us and sit, and we do guided meditations and some silent meditations and reflect upon and develop that relationship with spring and the fostering those new blossoms within us, so we can look forward to the beautiful times. Because maybe right after that, maybe your favorite season is summer. Right? That'll be coming shortly down the road as well. Also, our weekly sanghas. We have our healing sanghas for trauma, traumatic events. Our veteran sangha. If you're a veteran, any service. Right? I'm a veteran myself, and so you're welcome to join us for our Veterans Sangha, our Rainbow Sangha for our LGBTQT plus community. You're always welcome to join us during one of those Sanghas, as well as our Teen Sangha on Saturday afternoons. You can register right on our webpage for any one of these Sanghas, or the virtual spring retreat, or for the Resiliency Plus training. If you do find value in our talks, which I hope you do, I hope you do, you are welcome to like and to subscribe to us. New videos coming out, or new material, I should say. Not everything's a video. Sometimes it's a guided meditation, but every Thursday, something new. So go ahead and like and subscribe if you choose. And with that, my friends, I wish you all an evening of peace and ease, And I look forward to seeing you the next time. Take care, my friend.